Hi, Zarna and Sunita. It's great to meet you. My name is Malika. I'm one of the hosts for Urbanation, and I'm really excited to just dive a little bit deeper into both of your characters in the film.
Yay, let's get into it.
Awesome. Awesome. So, just kicking right off for both of you, how was your character kind of approached to you, and what really drew you into both of your characters? And we can start with you, Zarna, first, and then move on to your answer, Sunita.
I was told that I have to play a mother who is disappointed in her husband and kids. And I approached it very, very realistically because that is my everyday life. I have a husband, I have three kids, and they're constantly fucking up, if I'm allowed to say that, if not messing up. And it was very realistic. I didn't have to do a lot of work, to be honest with you, to get into it.
And for you, Sunita?
I was so drawn in by the team. I wanted to work with Karan and Roshan, and I had the script. The script was sent to me, and I just thought the writing was so well done. I loved how intertwined all the characters were. I love that it's like such a strong family story, and it's like really nuanced while being very funny. Like I was imagining Karan playing Naveen, and it was like perfect. The tone of the film was like very clear, like while I was reading it because I was imagining Karan and wanting to play like, yeah, it's very realistic and just wanting to play someone who's like really unapologetic and fierce. And a role like this actually hasn't like come my way
Yeah.
at all. Or, like not really in this version, or very often at all. So I'm honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, and that actually leads me perfectly into my next question, which is for you, Sunita, because your character kind of has that quintessential wedding, big fat Indian wedding moment, which leads Naveen into kind of wanting that for himself with his partner. Without giving too much away, how does your character kind of support him in his journey?
I love thinking of them as like the kids that they were, like growing up in that household. And I can imagine Arundhati just like going to bat for Naveen constantly, like protecting him, maybe even like protecting him from like bullies in school or whatever. Like I think that they have a really strong bond. But when you see them in the film, I feel like you are seeing the friction between them. You're actually seeing like misunderstanding happening, and that misunderstanding's happening like across the board between all the family members, but it's because they like love each other so much they
Yeah.
can't actually like connect or something. Which feels very quintessential for like the culture clash in a household like that, like my own. So, yeah, it was very easy to drop into playing siblings, and I felt like the more I could push in the direction of being like hard-edged, the more Naveen could be reflective and like soft-edged and like go through something internal. And I think it's like beautiful that their stories are intertwined, where she's
Yeah.
like wanting to break out of something and he having like, being the gay one in the family, he's already like broken expectations, so they're not placed on him, but he wants so desperately to actually have the traditions.
Yeah.
This family like doesn't really understand how to translate exactly, or we're all learning our way into it. So yeah, I think it's really well done, just how intertwined everyone in the family is.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you really get a glimpse of that in the trailer. And I'm excited to kind of see how that plays out on screen between both of them because you're right, each one of them is having their own journey, which is really interesting. And so moving to what you said earlier, Zarna, which was your character is very similar, to yourself, and that's really what drew you into the character. Your comedy sketches, I mean, have gained millions of views online, mainly for, the idea of you being a parent in the US raising Gen Z South Asian kids. And in this film, you are also a mom, kind of struggling to come to terms with the fact that her South Asian son is gay. And with a lot of South Asian parents in this day and age, that is sort of something that they're struggling with when their children are coming out to them to try and get, their parents to be accepting of themselves and their sexuality. What are you hoping that other South Asian parents are able to take away from your character by the end of this film?
Actually, the mother in this movie is not struggling at all because everybody knows he's gay. It's not a
Yeah.
coming out movie. It's
Yeah.
more a struggle to now integrate his life into our life.
Mm.
We want him to still be a part of our life. We want his love interest, his lover to be a part of our life. And it's like a story of the awkwardness of how we get over like the things we don't understand and how we ask about things that we are confused about. So it's more, very comedic.
Mm.
And I think that really the South Asian community just needs to get there now. No
Mm.
one needs to be shocked about anybody being gay. Listen, people, we've landed people on the moon. We've done all kinds of achievements have happened. This thing is long overdue. Everybody get on this train. It's a lot of fun, honestly. My gay friends are like the funniest and the best of all time. So like, let's just make this easy for everybody now. And that's kind of what drew me to the script is that it's not the classic, oh my God, my son is gay. It's not that. It's more like, all right, how best do we make it so we don't not only not lose our son, but also keep him and his whole self into the family with everything that he loves and cares about. And I think that this movie highlights that in the most beautiful way possible.
Yeah, I will say, having, watched the trailer and little bits and pieces that have been released, it's so funny to kind of see that comedic timing come out in the script and with the certain dialogues that, you're saying as well as Zarna that have come through in the trailer. So just
Yeah.
to wrap it up, because you both do come from comedy backgrounds, I was doing a little bit of research into the both of you. Obviously, Zarna, I've seen thousands of your sketches, but for you, Sunita, I've seen a lot of your work as well. What, kind of helps you when you're bringing that comedic aspect to a film set? Is there a different outlook for you when you're looking through some of these like comedic lines and dialogues? Do you approach it differently, or do you approach it the same way that you would for a dramatic scene or a romantic scene or an emotional one?
About the
Start with
same. I mean, it's like they kind of have the same value because you're committing to the emotional reality of the scene and it just creates like awkwardness and discomfort, which you can't help but laugh at sometimes.
me.
So I think it's like it was really fun to lean into kind of the unforgiving nature of my character because it's like you kind of laugh out of discomfort and also this misunderstanding and this like it's just it feels so relatable. So you don't even have to play the comedy of it. You're like you're recognizing it as familiar as you're seeing it play out. So it's like you're laughing at yourself when you're watching it. So I think just playing it as real, you know, as can be, and also with Roshan at the helm and Karan as well, like they just set the tone so well as to what we were dialing into and dialing out of. But yeah, I mean that's like my favorite kind of thing, like the blended
Mhm.
comedy dramedy thing because you laugh because you can't cry, you cry when you want to laugh. Like it's like the same thing. So I hopefully like approach it the same, but I do have more fun when I'm thinking about it as like it's for laughs.
Okay. And for you, Zarna?
I think it's the same. I mean, you approach every scene for what the scene wants and is calling for. The laughs just, my brain is trained to say awkward things. So it's actually harder to remember lines and not go into all these crazy spaces that my comedy brain likes to go to. But with every scene, we were like assessing what is the mood of the scene. And it was very methodical because there's so many people, right? There's a whole family involved. So you don't want to mess it up. But I was definitely very tempted to say batshit crazy things. And I'm glad I didn't. And I'm glad that we stayed on track and we delivered what the director wanted, which is how I approach everything. What he wants is what we're going to deliver.
Yeah.
Because I'm too new at all this to have my
Oh,
own
no.
opinion.
We had a lot of improvising happening, some arguments that were improvised that were like right there. We were ready. We were ready with the barbs, which I thought like some of these like off scripted kind of tonal parts to like set the scene for Naveen in the
Yeah.
movie where he's like struggling to voice him like his perspective is because we're like very overpowering in the movie and we were just like going off. I think we were saying some batshit stuff. I can't remember, but it felt like we were.
I love that. I'll keep an eye out when I'm
Yeah.
watching it in theaters. I'll keep an eye out for the like improvisational scenes to see if I can point them out and see if it, looks or feels any sort of different than any of the dialogues.
It's
But
all
that's
very
perfect.
natural, hopefully, because Zarna's such a natural.
Yeah, and that was perfect because that was going to be my next question was if either of you improvised any scenes. So that's a perfect kind of wrap
Oh
up
yeah, both
to
both
all
of
questions.
us. Lot of scenes. I think lot of scenes. There were definitely some dialogues where we shot alts, like to
Mhm.
see what feels better for sure. I did, and I know Sunita did too.
Yeah. Trying to think. I feel like a lot of my stuff with you was kind of like there were some moments that were improvised.
Well, also we were naturally angry with each other
It's just,
about something.
yeah.
About something. I was certainly like, "Why are you doing this, Sunita? You're so bright. Why are you an actress at all?"
I mean, then, of course, my shackles are up and I'm regressing and yelling back. So, it was
Yeah.
natural.
So the mother-daughter tenacious relationship was naturally formed on screen. I love to
It
hear.
really was. I felt like I was di like digging into my character because of Zarna digging into her character. Like we were carved out of the same stone in a way. I thought it was really fun.
I love that. That's amazing. And I really feel like that sort of chemistry will definitely translate on screen. And I'm really excited to watch it in theaters. So thank you both for speaking with me. Those were all the questions I had today. I really appreciate it. And as a South Asian born and raised here, it's amazing to kind of see this representation on screen. So I really love the work you guys have put into it, and I'm really excited to see it.